what I'm going to talk about today is all of the different ways that you put your wife in her masculine. Hello, my name is Matt Enns, and I am the founder of Sovereign Man Coaching Company, where we help men heal their masculinity and save their marriage. And I'm coming to you today from my new home in Texas, and don't have a film studio or anything set up yet, so the lighting isn't perfect. Hopefully the sound is okay, but the content today is spectacular. And I know that because we just did this talk in our group coaching program. We've got a couple hundred men who are working on these issues, and it went over really well. So what I'm going to talk about today is all of the different ways that you put your wife in her masculine. We have a little bit of a different approach here. We're always very much focused on what you as the man are doing wrong, because not only is that a more masculine attitude to take that extreme ownership, that responsibility, but it also puts the power back in your chest where it belongs, right? If it's not your fault, there's not much you can do to improve the situation. But if you look at it as if it is your fault, there's a whole lot that you can do to fix the situation. And on top of that, what often happens in marriages is that if the man figures his shit out and shows up in the way that he's meant to, she very naturally comes alongside of him as a passenger, looking up to him as the leader, as the guide to improve the marriage. And that only really happens when you take responsibility. You look at what you're doing wrong as your primary method of fixing problems. This video should be a bit of a gut punch, but it's also going to be super helpful, like it was for all the guys in our program, helping you figure out how to get a softer, more nurturing, more respectful, more appreciative wife. What does it even mean to be in your masculine? Essentially, masculine energy is driven, it's aggressive, it's on top of things, it knows what it wants, it's penetrating, right? Feminine energy is soft, it's nurturing, it's receiving. Basically, when a woman is in her masculine, what that means is she's not experiencing the safety of the masculine, and so she has to develop her own hard outer masculine shell to provide safety to herself. And the primary reason this happens is that she didn't experience masculine safety in childhood, right? Dad wasn't there like he needed to be. He abandoned her. He was abusive. He just wasn't really emotionally receptive to her. So because of that, she feels like she has to do that for herself, or her mom taught her that men aren't going to provide for you and be safe, so you have to provide that safety to yourself, or she had exes that treated her poorly. But whatever the reason is, she's experienced lack of safety with the masculine in the past, or maybe just in your relationship, and hopefully that's not the case. Usually it's from before the relationship as well. And so now she has to provide that masculine safety to herself. And if you try to get in the way of that, she's going to shut you down. She's going to castrate you. She needs to be in control to feel safe. What are the things that you're doing that put her in that position where she feels like she needs to provide that safety to herself? And we're going to go over a bunch of different reasons. Number one, this is a hard one for guys to hear, is being too emotional or too sensitive. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be in touch with your emotions as a man. Spend a ton of time getting in touch with my emotions, and I'm a very emotionally in tune person. But I'm not putting all of that on Whitney. It's not bad for a man to feel things, obviously. It's not bad for a man to know what he's feeling and to be able to process those emotions in a healthy way and to be able to experience the richness of an emotional life. But you want to have that on the inside of you, guiding you, giving you intuitive insights into the world, making a decision between your head and your heart. You don't want to be wearing that emotion on the outside, right? You don't want anger to take you over. You don't want anxiety to take you over. You don't even want sadness to take you over. You want these to inform you, but you don't want it to take you over, because what that says to your wife is when there are periods of emotional stress or emotional overwhelm of some kind, that knocks my husband over. He can't handle it. The emotion takes him over and he goes into some kind of a feminine emotional storm. She learns she has to be the place of stability. Another one is whining. I see a lot of men that whine all the time. And while you might just think, I'm just letting off steam, what you're communicating to your partner is, when I'm faced with hardship, I'm going to pout and whine and cry like a toddler would. When bad things happen, I whine because somebody else should take care of it. Okay, well, if you're communicating that you're not going to be the one that takes care of it, you're in a victim mindset, who's going to have to take care of it? She's going to have to take care of it. She's going to get hard. She's going to get masculine. She's going to lose respect for you. She's going to be angry at you. She's going to be nitpicky. She's going to undermine you. All of the things that really crush our soul as men, that whining behavior is going to lead to that. Another one is having unfulfilled potential. As we all know, women marry across and up the socioeconomic hierarchy, right? So they basically marry somebody that has more money, has more status, has more abilities than they do, or somebody who has the potential to. And women are unbelievable, and it's so beautiful at recognizing the potential in their partners. And very often, and this can lead to huge problems, they marry the potential that their partner has. They don't actually marry the person that he is. And so if they see all this potential inside of you, but 10 years into the marriage, you're not fulfilling any of it. You're sitting on the couch. You're not working hard at your job. You're not in good shape. You're not making good dietary decisions. You're not raising your kids properly and giving them the attention and presence that they deserve. She is going to see unfulfilled potential. And what that means to her is, this guy isn't going to do all of the things that I thought he could do for me. He's not going to protect and provide for me like I expected he would. So who has to do that? she does. So having unfulfilled potential as a man is a very big problem. This is even true if you're mega loaded, right? If you're a guy who made a bunch of money in Bitcoin or inherited money or sold a business or whatever, and she's watched you for the last 5 years just sit on your ass and drink Mai Tais on the beach, and you're not actually fulfilling your potential, well, you're doing a very, very good job of providing for her. She has all of the money she could possibly want. She's flying on private jets and buying Louis Vuitton bags. But she still senses, oh no, this guy's not going in the right direction. And women are very in tune with safety and future safety. And so she's going to start extrapolating your current behavior into the future and thinking on an emotional level, this guy is not going to be able to sustain this. He's not going to be able to provide and protect. Now, on a logical level, she might look and say, we've got $1 billion in the bank. Everything's going to be fine. But on an emotional level, she's going to be seeing those red flags. It's going to cause her emotional unsafety. And she's going to take that out on you by becoming the masculine in the relationship. So no matter where you're at, she needs to see you working out, eating healthy, trying at your career, having ideas for the future, striving towards your potential. Reason number 4 is lacking a vision. So if you do not have a vision as a man, somebody will have to provide the vision. And you're seeing a pattern here, right? What you do not do and what she does not see you doing and what she does not see you thinking about and working towards, she will have to do, which means she puts on that hard masculine shell of directed vision, ambition, conquering, overcoming. And that's the version of your wife you're going to get. And for most of us, that's not the version of the wife that we want. If you're a very, very feminine man watching this, you might want a masculine woman. You need polarity in the relationship. So if you're naturally super feminine, you're going to need a naturally very masculine wife, and that's going to work for you. But most of the men that I know, all of the men that I work with, and most of the men I assume watching this video are masculine, want to be more masculine, and want a very feminine wife. That's what they find sexually attractive. So don't do things that make her go into her masculine energy, because then you've got this going on, and nobody wants that to be going on. So you need a vision. You need to know who you want to be in 5, 10, 20 years. You need to know what you want to look like, what shape you want to be in, how much money you want to make, what career you want to have, what meaning you want to give to the world and extract from the world. All of these things are part of having a vision. And the more specific and granular and high resolution you can make that video, the more likely you are to actually make that happen. And I have a lot of videos that I'm going to be doing about how to create a vision that actually translates into reality. And I've had incredible success doing this myself. I've got so many clients who've had incredible success in really short periods of time doing this, because without a vision, you can't experience positive emotion. Without a vision, she knows you're not going to get there. Women are very intuitive. So it's on an unconscious emotional level. She'll recognize you're not getting to the place that she needs you to be. So who's going to create the vision? She is, which means she's going to decide where you go to dinner. She's going to decide where you go on vacation, how you raise the children. She's going to be the decision maker because she has reluctantly probably had to create a vision, and she's resentful of you that you don't have a vision like a man should. So you have to have a vision. Next reason, not taking action, right? So obviously if you have a vision, you're working towards your potential in some small ways, but you're not actually taking meaningful action, that's a problem. If you have this incredible vision and all this potential and you have this perfect plan of how you're going to get there, but you're not actually taking action, she's going to recognize that. She's going to hate you for it. She's going to be less attracted to you. She's going to be less sexually open to you, right? Because a woman opens to you based on how safe she feels with you. And this is very much sexually true. If she feels very safe with you, she's going to open to you psychologically, emotionally. She's going to open to you sexually. If she's not open to you, she's not going to open to you in those ways, right? So she needs to see you taking action, going to the gym, eating well, raising your kids well, having a plan, taking steps to make that plan real. Because it's a nice idea to have a plan to start a business, but if you talk about it for 6 years and all you've ever done is make a logo on Canva, which is what everybody who's not actually going to make a business does, they always start by making a logo. So if you want to start a business, make some sales calls, develop a product, put that product in front of people who can actually buy it. Don't start by making a logo. You can make the logo later. The logo gives you that little hit of like, oh, I'm doing something, but you're not actually taking action that leads to money, right? So that's an example of not taking action. And I can promise you, even if she's telling you all the right things and she's encouraging you verbally, on an emotional level, she's going to recognize you're not being a man, you're not actually taking action. So who's going to take action? You know the answer. She's going to take action, and she's going to push you aside because you're not providing safety, and now she has to be the man in the relationship. Reason number 6 is being dependent on her. You never know where anything in your house is. You don't know where you're going for dinner, so she has to tell you where to turn left and where to turn right. You're dependent on her for finances, and I'm sorry to tell you, if she makes more money than you, that is a problem. It's not an overcomable problem, because just like I said, I fall short in some areas, but I'm really good in other areas. So on balance, she feels incredibly safe with me, and she's very much able to drop into her soft, nurturing, feminine energy. But if she's making more money than you, it's a big problem. So you have to show up massively in other ways. You have to be extremely emotionally resilient. You have to be tough. You have to be able to take care of things around the house. You have to be able to take care of the kids. You have to provide and protect in other ways. So if she does make more money than you, better friggin' show up massively in other ways. If you're dependent on her emotionally or socially, don't know how to navigate social dynamics, you have a hard time managing your emotions, and when you're sad, you need her to make you feel better, you are dependent on her. Is she going to be able to trust and look up to and be led by somebody who is dependent on her? No, she's not. She needs to look at you and see an independent and sovereign man. And if you've been programmed by the feminist ideology to think that strong and independent are female terms, big problem, because who's going to have to be strong and independent if you're not? She is, right? Being dependent on her makes her the leader of the relationship, makes her have to take the masculine lead. It's a big, big problem. Harvest and practice and cultivate independence and strength inside of yourself. Number 7, not being decisive, right? Where are we going to go for dinner tonight, honey? Oh, wherever you want. What do you think about moving to this neighborhood? I really like it. Yeah, it looks good to me, right? You're not taking the lead. You're not being decisive. She has to. Even if she has experienced a lot of masculine danger in the past, she hasn't felt safe with a masculine, she still wants you to be a leader. She still wants you to be decisive, but she might shut you down, right? So when you try to make decisions about where to live or about where you're going to go on vacation, whatever it might be, she might shut you down and try to take over that decision because, again, she believes that the only way she's going to experience safety is if she is in charge. You have to start taking charge. She's not necessarily going to love it. She's going to resist it and reject it initially. But if you start doing this and you practice it and you get better at it over time, eventually she will learn through repeat interactions, I can trust this guy to make decisions. Making decisions and becoming decisive is a very difficult process, especially if you're not naturally a decisive person. Like me, I actually don't care where we eat. As long as I can get a decent steak, it doesn't matter to me. So when I would book dinners for us, I would just find a place with a steak that I thought was kind of nice, that she kind of liked. I had to learn to find places that she loved. Women are very in their senses. So it's not just about the steak for her. It's about the smells in the air and the music and the atmosphere and the attitude and the smiles and the laughter and the busyness. All of these things matter to her. And I had to learn what actually matters to her so that I could actually make good decisions that were fulfilling her needs, not just my own. So this is a difficult process. It doesn't come overnight, but you have to practice this, practice getting better at it. And if you get the first 10 dates wrong, it doesn't really matter. She's just going to be in the same place she was before, not trusting you, not feeling like you can make decisions. But if you continuously make those decisions and don't take a backseat, decide to become a passenger in your own life, she will learn, hey, this is a guy where even when he fails, he keeps trying. She'll start to lean on you and trust you because she goes, hey, even though I don't love the results of this guy's decisions, he seems very certain. He seems very confident. He's very determined to make these decisions. That's a guy she can trust because she knows eventually you'll figure it out because you have that determination. Next one is not setting boundaries. If you're not able to set boundaries with your friends, with your coworkers, with your kids, with yourself, she's not going to trust you to take care of her. If you can't tell the neighbor who keeps driving over your yard to stop ruining your lawn, how are you going to protect her from somebody who really wants to damage your family, who's a genuine threat to your family? She's not going to trust you to keep her safe. She's going to have to do that. If you don't have a powerful no as a man, you cannot provide safety to a woman. You have to practice having a powerful no. You have to learn how to say, this is what I want, these are my expectations, and there are consequences if you do not meet them. And this actually includes with her, right? Now, if you're approaching this with her as the tyrant, you're just being petty and you're butthurt, and so you start lashing out at her with some ridiculous consequences, that's not going to provide any safety to her, obviously. She's going to learn that you're even more unsafe than she thought. But if you are the wise king, who you are making expectations and consequences from a healthy place of wanting to create order and safety for your family, she's going to recognize that, she's going to respect it, and she's going to look up to you and say, this is the kind of man who can lead me and keep me safe. Even with her, you have to have boundaries because, again, if you can't create boundaries with her that you're actually able to enforce, she's not going to trust you to do it anywhere else. And if she can easily break through your boundary and it doesn't really matter and you just crumble and, kind of submit to it and just withdraw, then she learns he's not actually worthy of respect. But if you create a boundary and you reinforce it in a positive and healthy way with her, with patience and with love, and the only thing she senses from you is firmness and love, what she'll do is she'll show you some small sign of affection and appreciation. She'll make you a little snack, she'll compliment you on something, she'll snuggle up to you a little bit more closely, she'll say, hey, why don't you choose what we watch tonight on TV, which she normally doesn't do. She'll do something to indicate to you that she is in the presence of the strong, safe masculine, and she appreciates it and wants to show you affection because of it. Avoiding conflict and hard conversations. And this is very similar to the last one, but if she sees you in other relationships with the barista at Starbucks, with your extended family, with her extended family, not standing up for what you believe in, not defending your opinions, not defending your values, not being willing to say, hey, look, you did something and it really wasn't okay with me and I don't want you to treat me that way anymore, she's going to recognize that for what it is. You are a weak man who is incapable of protecting what matters to you. So being able to have those conversations, crucial for her realizing that she can drop into her feminine, be soft and nurturing because she doesn't need a hard outer shell to protect her. You are that hard outer shell that can protect her. This is a big one. You haven't healed yourself, right? She has watched you over the years and noticed that there's a pattern where you have emotional triggers, you have unresolved traumas that come out in the relationship, that come out in your career, that come out in your personal habit. This can be something as simple as procrastinating, it can be giving up, it can be self-sabotage, it can be anger, it can be anxiety, but she recognizes you are not a healed person. A healed person is not in control of their emotional state. They are not sovereign. They are pushed and pulled by the whims of fate and by their own internal emotional state. That's not somebody who can provide safety and protection. And also, and this is very important to know, she's not going to heal herself until you do. Because if she's not experiencing the safety of a healed masculine man, she's not going to be able to look at all the dark, scary things that she doesn't want to think about. The pain from her past, the time she's been hurt, the time she's been violated. That's going to be way too scary for her. She needs a lot of safety. She needs really strong walls around her, protecting her before she feels safe enough to look at those things. So you have to heal yourself first before she heal herself. So if she's got toxic traits, she's got narcissistic traits, whatever it is, the best thing you can do to deal with those things is not to pressure her to deal with them, because women hate pressure, but is to heal yourself. And keep this in mind, men grow through pressure, women grow through nurture. You want her to heal herself, go start seeing a therapist, see a coach. Don't tell her to, don't try to force her to. She will put up a wall between herself and whatever's trying to force her to look at the things she doesn't want to look at. But if you heal yourself and you nurture her, you tell her she's amazing, you make her feel safe and special and supported and seen, then she will feel safe enough to go resolve her own issues. So you have to heal yourself if you want to really provide masculine safety and put her in a position where she doesn't have to provide that masculine safety. Not understanding the dance. If you do not understand the dance of the masculine and the feminine in relationship, you will not be able to put her in a position where she's able to drop into her feminine. And the dance is really a push-pull. Push-pull in an unhealthy example would be you go up to a woman at the bar and you say, you're really beautiful, but why are you wearing those super ugly shoes, right? You kind of make her feel good and then make her feel bad, right? Now again, I'm not recommending that. I don't do that with my wife. It's unhealthy. But it's an example that I think some of you might know of this push-pull dynamic. So a healthy way to do that in relationship is to kind of be a little bit aloof sometimes, right? She wants you to come sit in bed with her, but you go, not right now. I'm doing something for work, but I'm going to come back later. And you just create that little bit of distance, that little bit of separation. You indicate to her through your action, I am a man with direction, with vision, with purpose. I'm on a capital P path, and I know I'm meant to be on that path and I'm working towards it. But you also come back later and you shower her with affection, you tell her how amazing she is, you connect with her emotionally, sexually, you watch a movie that she wants to watch. So you have this push-pull. Sometimes you're going to say, this is what I want to do and we're going to do it. Sometimes you say, what do you want to do? We're going to do that. But that dance, although it's difficult to do properly, it's insanely attractive to the feminine, right? If you're always available, you always want to do whatever you want, you're Mr. Nice Guy, whatever you want to do, we're going to do it. You will kill the attraction. You create neutrality in your relationship instead of polarity. You have to learn how to do this dance of push and pull in the relationship. And when you learn when the right moments are for you to be soft and nurturing with her, when the right moments are for you to be hard and firm and create a strong boundary, and you can be both of those things in the relationship, that is a dance between the masculine and the feminine. And women find that insanely, just passionately attractive. So those are just some of the reasons that I was talking about in my group. But again, those landed in my group. They really appreciated this presentation. I wanted to share them with you because I think it's impactful. The more you know about what you're doing that makes her become masculine, the more that you can alter your own behavior so that in response to your changes, she makes her own changes. Because again, if you try to make her change, if you try to force her to change, she will put up a block between the thing that's trying to make her change and herself. But if you make your own changes, I can promise you she will change in response. Now, my YouTube channel is brand new. I've got 200,000 followers on Instagram. I've been at it for a while there, although my account did just get banned, so we'll see if we can get that back up. Hopefully it's back up by the time this video is posted. But I am going to be making a big push on YouTube to do a lot more videos on how to provide safety, how to create attraction, how to get your wife back when she's already got one foot out the door. And it's fairly straightforward stuff, but nobody talks about it honestly. I want to show you how to create a healthy, masculine, feminine relationship. So if you're interested in more of that, subscribe to my channel, turn on the notifications. I'm going to be posting a bunch of videos on exactly this topic. Let me know in the comments if this helped, where you agreed, where you disagreed, and what other videos you want to see me make. I do read all the comments, and so I will check that out and I will make those videos for you. So thanks so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and very good luck to you healing your masculinity, saving your marriage. And if you want more help with that, click the link below, book a meeting with my team, and you can talk about all of the different options that we have and which one makes sense for you. So whatever you need, we do have that solution, and we can see what we can do for you.